What is up, and welcome to the Beyond the Arc with Brandon Silvers 2023 SEC football preview. As always, I am your host, Brandon Silvers. If you're watching on YouTube, we're doing these a team at a time to make the videos less husky and easier to watch. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, you are getting the full preview all at once because you have a pause button. Now, you should subscribe to both video and audio by checking the show notes or searching Beyond the Arc with Brandon Silvers so that you don't miss anything, such as the video-only, most entertaining weekly college football pick'em show in the history of the world, Brett's Bets. Speaking of Brett's Bets, I am joined today by the man himself, Brett Gosnell, to help me break down these SEC teams. Brett, let's get into it. The Texas A&M Aggies, a disappointing 5-7 last year, 2-6 in the conference. Jimbo is back, though, his sixth year here. They're actually number 23 in the preseason AP Top 25. 20 returning starters from that disappointing team last year. Are they going to be better this year, Brett?
Well, Vegas has them at 8 wins, so that would certainly be better. But however good they recruit, how many ever starters they return, Jimbo just sucks, dude. Like, at what point do we just admit that this guy's not a good football coach?
And to make up for the fact that he's not a good football coach, he just hires terrible people.
Oh, my God. Yeah. Can't wait to get into that shit. But they were number 6 in the preseason last year, ended up going 5-7. Jimbo has still never won more than 9 games at Texas A&M. That's his ceiling at Texas A&M. And this is my favorite. Through 5 years, he has fewer wins than Kevin Sumlin did.
Womp, womp. That's hilarious because they ran Sumlin off.
Yeah. And it seemed like deservedly so.
Yeah, because he wasn't graded at Arizona, but they're hanging tough with Jimbo.
Yeah. So going into the offense, as you mentioned, brings in Bobby Petrino. So good on him for seeing that maybe the offensive play calling has passed him by. We need to adjust things. Maybe the pro style shit is over with for college football. But then he brings in another pro style guy who was head coach at Missouri State. Not good there. So that's his most recent job. He goes 5 wins, 8 wins, 5 wins in his 3 years at Missouri State. Never makes it deeper than the first round of the playoff. So I don't know what he's doing on offense. The quarterback, Connor Wegman, I think that's how you say his last name. We saw a little bit of him against Texas A&M last year. I mean, when we played Texas A&M, he went 8 for 15 for 90 yards against us. Apparently, he come in and played really well against Ole Miss later in the year. 5-star kid, so obviously has the pedigree. So he's getting a ton of hype, but a lot of quarterbacks have gotten a lot of hype under Jimbo and not done anything.
They scored more than 30 points twice last season.
Insane. With all that talent, just insane. And speaking of talent, A-Chain, the incredible running back they had, he's gone.
Yep. So how do they make it work offensively? I don't think you're bringing in Bobby Petrino to solve those problems.
Not nowadays. I mean, there was a time when I thought Bobby Petrino was the best offensive coach in football, and that was because he was breaking it off in our ass every year with Ryan Mallett and those dudes at Arkansas. But those days seem to be gone. They're certainly gone for him.
Yes. And he doesn't appear to have the neck brace on still. So that's good news for Bobby. And then defensively, when you're like, man, Bobby Petrino's a terrible coach to hire as a person. They brought in last year DJ Durkin in his second season as defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
What a staff. I'm guessing for whatever reason, he couldn't lure Art Briles away from the Italian Football League. So please remember this group when people try to act like college football coaches are beacons of morality. But can they do anything defensively under DJ Durkin?
So this is the most interesting part of the team to me, because I had a lot of money on and against them last year, so I watched them several times. The defense, every time I watched them come off to me, is just elite. The offense was obviously horrible, but the few games they did win, the defense was just playing out of their minds. Offense would go 3 and out. Defense would get the ball back. Offense would go 3 and out. I mean, the defense, to my eyeballs, looked outstanding last year. And they were number 1 in the nation in pass defense. However, a lot of that was because they couldn't stop the run at all, so teams were just running the ball on them. And if you get into any of the analytics, and I guess the games that I didn't watch, the defense was not that good. So the analytic people will tell you that they don't have a great defense. Obviously, they're going to have a lot of talent there this year again, like they have everywhere. But, I don't know. Do you believe my eyes or do you believe the analytics? I would probably believe the analytics.
Especially with Jimbo being involved.
Yeah. So, very interesting unit. I don't know. I mean,
because they have all the talent, you would think, to fight for a playoff spot.
Yeah.
But they're not going to.
Hell no, they're not going to.
They're just not going to. And so they've hired all these terrible people for no reason.
Yeah.
And I was trying to find the special teams coordinator. I can only assume that Jimbo was very sad that the Unabomber died, so he couldn't make him the special teams coordinator. But I do hope they lose a lot.
Yeah. Durkin, he at least was good at Ole Miss, and I get Bobby Petrino. I don't know what you think you're getting there.
This feels like a last gasp for Jimbo.
Yeah,
I think if they get off to a slow start,
he could have hired anybody he wanted. I mean, they've got the money to pay to go and get the best coordinator in the country, but I think he thinks Petrino's similar enough to him, and he doesn't really want to fully take his hands off the reins yet. That's the only thing I can figure.
Exactly. That's exactly all you need to know about Jimbo Fisher, is that he could have hired any offensive coordinator in the country, and he picked Bobby Petrino.
Yeah.
So I think my one other interesting question with the Bobby Petrino neck brace stuff is, which medical device would you use to distract from the fact that you'd had an affair?
Like a pelvis wrap.
Okay. I was going to pick a CPAP machine.
No.
So, because people be like, what's wrong? You've got sleep apnea? And hopefully just change the subject that way. So we'll see. Yeah. There you go, Bobby, if you're watching and you need to distract from the fact that you're having another affair or their offense is terrible because you've been passed by. There are a couple of great suggestions. All right. I don't think we have anything else to cover with this shit-ass team.